So Karl, give us a brief sort of run through on the recent work you've been doing on the water energy nexus for Aquatech.
Yes, the water energy nexus is something very important for Aquatech, as Aquatech is very much engaged in the energy industry. We discovered very early that energy is the biggest consumer, energy industry's biggest consumer of water, but at the same time the biggest polluter of water. And therefore we were very early starting how we can reduce the water footprint in each of our plants and processes in the energy industry, oil and gas and power. So we have very early started with recycling from water, like in the oil sands business, where we have separated oil and water and put it as steam back, so that we need not to discharge it to tailing ponds or oil ponds or discharge it to river. So recycling was and reusing of water was very important. And in addition to that, we tried to avoid pollution by adding treatment steps like evaporation, crystallization, where we have a high recycling rate of water and concentrate this in a brine and salt, which have no harm to the environment, because on the one hand you give it to landfill deposits, or what we do now is to purify this brine so that we can use it as raw material for the chemical industry, for chlorine production, or as edible salt or as road salt. So we have a total resource recovery and a complete holistic solution to that. And later on, we certainly focused on the energy efficiency of our systems, especially how to reduce also the carbon footprint. And this we have achieved by, for example, by installing a high efficiency reverse osmosis process, which is a unique RO, which, as the name says, high efficient, which means we can recycle up to 95% of the water. So therefore the left brine is only 5%, in ideal cases even only 2%. And then we can evaporate and crystallize that. We call it then zero liquid discharge systems. And this enables us also to make much smaller evaporators, much smaller crystallization, and need much less energy, of course, because we have smaller dimension systems. And this is we call it hybrid solution, hybrid zero liquid discharge, a good solution how we work efficiently on reducing carbon footprint, in addition to certainly renewables, what we also try to integrate in our processes now.
And in the long run, it leads to reduced OPEX costs.
Yes, absolutely.
Which is now becoming such a key consideration for customers.
Right, that's correct, yes.
Excellent. Okay, and Karl, what about, you talked about your high efficiency RO system. I saw here about the sort of hybrid combinations of reverse osmosis and thermal. Perhaps you could give us some more information on that.
Yes, for example, we have in the power industry the flue gas desulfurization. As you may know, in the last century, they have for the last decades, they put coal-fired power plants, put the waste, the air in the air, also the steam, and now this is because of environmental legislation not allowed anymore. Now they use water to purify this gas, but now the dirtiness is now in the water and not in the air anymore, and they discharge it to the river, which lead to high arsenic content in rivers, much higher than legally allowed, especially also in the US. So now they didn't allow it anymore. You must now treat the wastewater by a flue gas desulfurization thermal. We call it zero liquid discharge systems, where we evaporate the water and we produce concentrated salt, which we give to landfill deposits in the past, and therefore the water is clean, can be either recycled or easily discharged without any harm for the environment. We have done many dozens of plants of this in zero liquid discharge, like in Italy, in Enel, where we have done 5 plants. This was also prescribed by law that these installations have been done, and due to our high efficiency reverse osmosis, these are affordable solutions, because normally the industry doesn't like that, because it creates more costs to them. So we know this, and so we worked on then to reduce the capex and the opex for this industry. That's one example in the power. For example, we do also enhanced oil recovery. In Oman, we have in Mukaizen a big plant where we take the scarce water. It is injected in the well, where the water came out with oil. We separate oil and water, and we can re-inject the water as steam in the well. So all water what we don't need is then water you can reuse for agriculture and for irrigation and something like that.
Sure. Okay, well, thank you, Karl, for taking us through that, and we wish you the best of luck in your work going forward.
Thank you.